Matthew went to Bright River to meet the train.
The train?
We're adopting a little boy from the orphanage in Nova Scotia.
Well, you're never throwing surprises to your dad.
We've been thinking about it ever since last harvest when Matthew had the heart attack. You know how desperate hard it's got to be to get hired help these days. And when Mrs. Alex Spencer told us she was going to get herself a little girl, we asked her to pick us out a little boy as well. Old enough to be of some use in doing the heavy work, but young enough to be trained up proper.
But Marilla, you don't really know what you're getting.
Now, don't say I didn't warn you. If this imported orphan puts strychnine in the well and burns your house to the ground. I heard of an orphan over in Nova Scotia that did just that. The whole family died in fearful agony. I remember it was a girl in that instance.
Well, you can stop saying your prayers on our account, Rachel. We're not getting a girl.
Well, I think it's a mighty risky thing you're doing, that's what.
There's risk to people having children of their own, for that matter.
Hardly a risk in case of you and your brother.
Our meeting can continue. Now we've found out just where. Where's Matthew going? And why he's going there. We don't wait for us for the cause. We have nothing to
If you're looking for the 5:30 train, it's been and gone.
Oh,
Half an hour ago.
it's, only 20 past 5.
If you're looking for the station master, he told me to tell you he'd gone home.
He told you to tell me?
I suppose you are Mr. Matthew Cuthbert. Mrs. Spencer told me what you looked like. I was beginning to fear you weren't coming for me. The station master said the train was early because they had a new engineer on and he wasn't very experienced.
There must be some mistake.
Yes, he said usually the 5:30 train is half an hour late, regular as clockwork. If you hadn't come for me, I was going to walk up the track to that big wild cherry tree, see it?
Oh, yes.
And I was going to climb into that tree and stay all night. Wouldn't that be lovely? Am I talking too much? People are always telling me I do. Mrs. Spencer says my tongue must be hung in the middle, it flaps so. If you say so, I'll stop. I'll stop when I make up my mind, although it's awfully difficult.
You can talk all you want. I don't mind.
Oh, good. It seems so wonderful that I'm going to live with you and belong to you.
I'll let Marilla do it.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, let me help you with the bag.
Oh, I can carry it. It isn't heavy. It's an excruciatingly old bag. Thank goodness I'll never have to use it again. Mr. Cuthbert, which would you rather be if you had your wish? Divinely beautiful, or dazzlingly clever, or angelically good?
Well, now, I don't really know.
Oh, neither do I. But it would be nice to think you had the choice.
Once I thought I'd like to be a blossom growing on a tree, white and pink and lazy as can be. But I came just in the spring to have
road's red.
Well, now, I may remember a fellow telling you once it was the iron in this oil getting rusty. Oh, I don't suppose he could have meant it.
Do you suppose that it could be the roots of tragic destiny, dripping from a blood-stained family tree? An evil spell that did compel the founders of this island to meet their doom and perish horribly. Picture now the vicious strife that started raging way back in the olden days of yore. Family with family infused, engaging, drenching all their local soils with gore. There, as far as I can see, I've just cleared up the mystery of why their roots are red perpetually.
The answer is found not in the ground, but in your imagination. Giddy up, girl.
Gee, I'm glad I know what else. Gee, I'm glad I know what else. Gee, I'm glad I know what else but
You come running in.
Matthew?
Yes, Marilla.
Why, Matthew Cuthbert.
Yes.
Who's that?
Huh?
Where's the boy?
Oh, well, now, there wasn't any boy. So it's only her.
There must have been a boy. We sent word to Mrs. Spencer to bring us a boy.
Well, she didn't. She brought her.
This is a pretty piece of business. You don't want me! You don't want me because I'm not a boy, or I might have known it!
I've got to walk to the mayor.
There, child. There's no need to cry so.
There is need. This is the most tragic thing that has ever happened to me.
Well, we're not going to throw you out of doors. Tonight at any rate. Now, what's your name?
Would you please call me Cordelia?
Call you Cordelia? Is that your name?
Well, no. It's not exactly my name, actually. It's Anne. Anne Shirley, but whenever I'm in dire anguish, I've always imagined that my name is Cordelia. At least I have of late years.
Fiddlesticks. Your name is Anne, and that's what you should be called. It's a good, plain, sensible name, and you've no need to be ashamed of it.
Well, if you call me Anne, would you please call me Anne, spelled with an E?
What difference does it make how it's spelled?
Oh, it looks so much nicer.
Very well, then. Anne with an E. Can you tell us how this mistake came to be made? We sent word to Mrs. Spencer to bring us a boy. Were there no boys at the orphanage?
Oh, yes, in abundance. But I distinctly heard Mrs. Spencer say that you wanted a girl, and the matron said she thought I would do.
We've no use for a girl. We need a boy to help Matthew out on the farm. Now come and help me with the table. We'll have supper.
Oh, I couldn't eat. I'm in the depths of despair. Can you eat when you're in the depths of despair?
I don't know. I've never been there, so I can't say.
She's tired, Marilla. Let's put her to bed.
Very well, then. Take your bag and come with me.
Good night.
How can you say it's a good night when you know it must be the very worst night I've ever had? My life is a perfect graveyard of broken hopes.
What was that?
That's a sentence I read in a book once, and I say it to myself whenever I'm disappointed in anything.
You may sleep in here.
Ooh!
Mercy, child, what's the matter?
A tree of your very own, imagine!
It's a big tree and it blooms great, but the cherries don't amount to much. Small and wormy.
Snow Queen.
What?
I'll call the tree Snow Queen, because it reminds me of the blinding vision of the White Way of Delight.
You've got a tongue in your head, that's for certain. Now I want you to get undressed.
I have my best underwear on. The matron said you never know when you might get caught up in a train wreck.
And I suppose you have a nightgown?
Oh, I have two.
You'd best wear both of them. They look kind of flimsy. Now when you're done, I want you to say your prayers.
Oh, I never say any prayers.
Don't you know who God is?
The matron of the orphanage told me that God is the one who made my hair red, and I've never cared about him since.
I'm afraid you're a very wicked little girl to say such a thing. This is a Christian household, and while you're in it, you will say your prayers. Now, when you're done, I want you to blow out the candles. No, on second thought, I'd best stay here till you're finished. You're liable to set the house on fire.
You may take the candle. After I'm in bed, I'll imagine out a nice prayer to say.
No, no, child. You must kneel by your bed to pray to your Maker.
Ready? What do I say?
Now I lay me down to sleep. You best pray to the Lord your own words, child.
I'll do my best.
Gracious Heavenly Father,
Mercy on us, child. What was that?
That's the way the minister who came to the orphanage used to do it.
Stop your chattering and get on with your prayers. Use your own words, mind.
My dear God. Oh, Miss Cuthbert, even though I'm not going to stay here at Green Gables, I think I could make a much nicer prayer if I imagined that I am.
Never mind your imaginings. Just thank him humbly for the blessings he has given.
That's where I need my imagination. Dear God, thank you for the White Way of Delight and the Snow Queen. I'm really extremely grateful for them. And that's all the blessings I can think of to thank you for just now. As for the things I want, it would take a great deal of time to mention them all, so I'll only name the two most important. Please let me stay at Green Gables. And please, let me be good looking when I grow up. I remain, yours respectfully, Anne Shirley. There, did I do it all right? I could have made it much more flowery if I had time to think it over.
Go to sleep now.
Oh, I just thought. I should have said amen in place of yours respectfully, the way the ministers do. Do you suppose it'll make any difference?
I don't suppose so. Now go to sleep. This is what comes of sending someone instead of going ourselves. One of us will have to drive down to Mrs. Spencer's tomorrow, that's for certain. The child will have to go back.
Yes, I suppose so.
You suppose so? Don't you know it?
Well, no, she seems like a nice little thing, girl. Seems like kind of a shame to send her back when she's so self-saying.
Matthew Cuthbert, you don't tell me you mean you think we ought to keep her. What good would she be to us?
Well, we might be some good to her.
Never heard of such a thing. That child will have to be dispatched straight away back to where she came from.
Well, maybe I could hire a boy to help out on the farm, and she could be good company for you.
I'm not suffering for company, and you need a boy to help you out on the farm. We're not going to keep her, so you might as well spare your breath to cool your porridge.
Well, now it's just as you say. Of course, Marilla.
Where are you gadding off to? You haven't touched a bite of your supper.
I don't suppose I'm hungry either.
How can Mrs. Spencer have made such a mistake?
So badly we needed a boy.
leave Anne out there in the buggy? Isn't she a dear, sweet thing?
Fact is, Mrs. Spencer, that there's been some sort of queer mistake. We sent word through your brother Robert for you to bring us a boy.
You don't tell me. Isn't that funny? How did that happen, I wonder? I'm dreadfully sorry, Marilla. I thought for sure I was following your instructions. Isn't this a funny predicament we're in?
The thing to do now, Mrs. Spencer, is to put it right. I don't suppose the orphanage will take her back.
Mrs. Peter Blewett, the very thing. I don't think you'll have to send the child back to Nova Scotia. You just come with me right now. I always say it's an ill wind that doesn't blow somebody into town. Mrs. Blewett.
Come in.
Lovely to see you again, my dear. What a lovely little home you have. May I introduce my friend, Miss Marilla Cuthbert.
How do, Mrs. Blewett?
And this dear speaker right here. Do you remember that little matter we spoke of last week?
She available?
Yes, and I know that you and she will become firm friends.
Them kids, I keep them in the woodshed till feeding time. You, go stir the stew. All right, I'm coming out there to whittle the daylight out of you.
The good Lord has seen fit to reward her labors. She's had twins 3 times in a row.
And how many children in all?
7. 8.
She'd be a Roman Catholic?
No, Presbyterian.
And how long has she been married?
5 years, going on 6.
Funny kind of Presbyterian.
Dinner's coming, just sit up there and suck your thumbs. All right, you. What's your name?
I'm the Lady Cordelia de Montmorency, abducted by gypsies when I was 3.
Anne.
My name is Anne Shirley, Anne with an E.
That's better, just the facts.
Tell her where you were born and who your folks were.
I was born in a palace in Vienna, and Nubian waltzes my lullabies, and my father was a Johann with great mustaches, my mother Marilla with emerald eyes. My dear parents were rich and aristocratic, with 10 maids and butlers to bring you tea, and we rode in a carriage with footmen on it, and all of them curtsied and bowed to me.
That's enough of that, child.
If you are wondering how I got here, I was kidnapped by this buccaneer, who brought me to France and taught me to dance in his gypsy hideout in Tangier.
I don't think they're going there. Anne Shirley.
This is not what they told me at the orphanage.
We don't want no gypsies around here.
Let's possess this child.
And stop at this instant. Where do you think you're going?
Must you prince about child? Who do you think you are?
I'm the Lady Cordelia de Montmorency, abducted by gypsies when I was 3. The facts, the facts, the facts, the plain simple holy unembroidered facts.
Here are the facts. This is a report they gave me at the orphanage. Name, Anne Shirley.
Spelled with an E.
Yes, yes. Parents, deceased. Father, Walter Shirley, professor of agriculture and Bradley Conservation at Overture Continuation School. Mother, Bertha Shirley, housewife.
I have to imagine what they looked like. I was only 3 months old when they died.
Never mind, you're gonna have a new home now. I always say what one loses on the sauce, they gain on the gander. Now, where was I? Temporary guardian, Miss Thomas.
And your drunken husband.
That's not a very nice thing to say.
It's not a very nice thing to watch, either. But then they sent me up the river.
Up the river.
To Mrs. Hammond and her 5 children.
You've had experience then.
Yes, I have, thank you.
So I live with the promises that the heavens. I lived with a family in Halifax, but none of them wanted me, so I went to the home for the orphans, and those are the facts.
Are you sure? It's all written down right here.
The plain, simple, homely, unembroidered facts.
Very well, my dear. Let's turn around. Let me look at you. There isn't much of you, but what there is wiring. I expect you to earn your keep. All right, Mrs. Spencer, I'll take her.
Well, now wait a minute. Just came to find out from Mrs. Spencer how the mistake had occurred. Feel I ought to decide without talking to my brother about it. I'd best take the child home and talk it over with him first.
But I
If
thought...
we decide not to keep her, bring her back tomorrow night. That suits you, Mrs. Blewett?
Suppose it'll have to.
We'll just leave it at that then. We'll just put off till tomorrow instead of burning our bridges today.
Morning, Cecil. Morning. Any mail? Nothing today, Cecil. Water's been chopped this morning. Bellow didn't make it across.
Eat that caution. Mainland's been cut off again.
Where'd that buggy come from?
I don't know, but it's headed into Cuthbert's.
Where Marilla come from? She's coming up from the south. The horse's eyes are rolling. He's foaming at the mouth. Whoever it is she's racing, I can't see him for dust. She's riding with the devil like a cyclone, like a wolf. It's a bust. Where Marilla come from?
And what she had in there,
Whatever was the freckles
and makes me on her head.
she couldn't drive much faster.
It must be something done, must be some disaster.
It's a robbery.
It's a fire.
It's a
She's in trouble.
In a world.
it's an accident.
It's a girl.
Take off your hat over there and help me with the table. Matthew will be in from chores any minute now.
Oh, please, Miss Cuthbert, won't you tell me if you're going to keep me or not? I tried to be patient all the way back in the buggy, but I really can't bear not knowing any longer.
I want you to find a cloth and clean off the table.
And then you'll tell me?
First, I want you to go to the woodshed out back and get some sticks of wood for the stove.
And that's when you'll tell me?
Hurry along to the woodshed, child. Not too big sticks, mind.
You're back.
So it would appear.
I want a girl. She's having her own now. We're getting a bit low on those. I should drive over to Harmony White Sands tomorrow to refill. Marilla, I still think that we should reconsider.
Matthew, mind the eggs. deciding to keep you. That is if you promise to behave like a good little girl. Help him out on the farm. Why are you crying?
I don't know why I'm crying. I'm so glad. Oh, glad doesn't seem to be the right word at all. It's much more than that.
Well, when you find the right word, we'll have supper.
Oh, I know who that is.
Come in, Rachel.
I saw you driving by in the buggy, so I thought I'd come over. Whatever happened to the boy?
Well, we changed his mind. Her mind. Well, what I'm trying to say
And this is Mrs. Rachel Lynde come to see you. Isn't that nice of her?
I could tell by the pigtails flying by that you hadn't got what you expected. Well, well, well. They didn't pick you out for your looks, that's sure and certain. Come over here and let me have a look at you. Did you ever see such freckles and hair as red as carrots?
How dare you say I'm ugly? How dare you say I'm freckled and redheaded? And how would you like to have such things said about you? How would you like to be told that you are fat and dilapidated and probably hadn't a spark of imagination in you? Oh, I don't care if I hurt your feelings by saying so. I hope I do hurt them. You've hurt mine worse than they've ever been hurt before, and I'll never forgive you for it. Never, never, never.
Have you ever seen such temper?
Aunt Shirley, you will apologize to Mrs. Lynde this minute and ask her for forgiveness.
I could never do that. I'm sorry I vexed you, Miss Cuthbert, but I am glad I said what I just said. It gave me great satisfaction.
You will go straight upstairs to your room and stay there till you're willing to apologize.
You've taken on quite a responsibility there, Marilla. I don't envy anyone who has to bring up that.
You shouldn't have twitted her about her looks, Rachel.
You mean to tell me that you're upholding that terrible display of a temper?
I'm not trying to excuse her, but we must make allowances. She hasn't been taught what was right, and you were way too hard on her.
Well, I can see I'll have to be more careful what I say around here when I come over in the future, seeing the thoughts of an orphan brought from goodness knows where have been given first consideration.
Rachel, you haven't finished your tea.
If you take my advice, me who brought up 10 children and buried 2, you won't wait another minute. You'll go right outside and cut yourself a good-sized piece of birch switch.
Matthew, where are you headed off to?
Well, I thought I would just...
Go upstairs?
Yes.
You haven't been upstairs since you helped me pay for the spare room 4 years ago.
I thought I would just take a look.
Well, mind what the doctor said about climbing stairs.
Uh-huh.
Matthew, don't you go interfering. Maybe an old maid doesn't know much about disciplining children, but surely she knows as much as an old bachelor. Would you like a cup of tea?
Oh, no, thank you. I think I'll just... Oh, I'll go fill the cistern.
Well, Rachel, as long as you're here, why don't I show you the patchwork pieces I've been saving for the quilts we're making for the Borneo headhunters.
And Lady Cordelia de Montmorency. Don't you think that you better get this thing off your chest and get it over with?
Oh, I couldn't, Matthew. You could lock me up in a damp, dark dungeon inhabited by snakes and toads.
Well, we're not in the habit of doing that. Here, I'll come on. You know you're going to apologize sooner or later. Marilla is dreadfully determined.
She hadn't any right to call me ugly and redheaded.
I heard you say as much so yourself only yesterday.
But there's such a difference between saying something yourself and hearing someone else say it.
And you listen to me. Never mind how folks thought, let them all start and squat. When they criticize, just pass them by. If they do carp at you, don't get upset. Fuss, fume, or frets, or get indigestion. Critics can't bother me, because I tell them I agree. But when you're finding fault, I will be nice. You can do it, just you try it. You won't do it, be like I keep happy eating humble pie. Humble pie, we can eat it, you and I. All the world around us may be proud. Never mind, you will find they have first to read one. You can do it, just you try it. But why not try my steady diet? Waiting, happy, easy on the high.
Mercy, child, what are you doing there?
I have been wrestling with my soul, and now I'm ready to go and tell Mrs. Lynde I'm sorry I lost my temper.
Very well, then. Come with me. Matthew?
Yes?
Matthew, come in here.
All right.
I want you to see what a little discipline can do.
Mrs. Lynde, oh Mrs. Lynde, you have been wronged and I have sinned. My very soul is so chagrined. I acted so undisciplined. I should have laughed, I should have grinned, I should have been more finger-skinned. Forgive me, please, my hopes are pinned on Mrs. Lynde.
Well, now I think that was very nicely done.
My punishment was necessary. Upstairs, just now in solitary. I have a temper which is scary. I know I have, and I'll be wary. You'll find my conduct salutary. I don't deserve the human race. Just make my headstone commonplace and print my name in lowercase without an E. Just leave a space. Please, Mrs. Lynde, I know I've sinned. Please, Mrs. Lynde, your rage resent. Please, Mrs. Lynde, I'm out of Please, Mrs. We'll wait here in the lane, Diana. Marilla will bring the child from the house.
Oh, Mother, I'm dying to see what she's like.
Now, you must remember, dear, that this child is most unfortunate. She doesn't have a father or a mother, so you mustn't flaunt your own too much. It's not polite to talk to other children about things they themselves don't possess.
Good morning, Miss Barry, Diana. This is Anne.
How are you, Anne? Thank you, ma'am. I'm as well as can be expected.
Hello, Anne.
Hello! You have a perfectly lovely name. Diana is my favorite heathen goddess.
Now, Anne, Diana's a very nice little girl, and her mother is very particular about who she plays with, so you don't want to keep her late for school. Here's your note from Mr. Phillips. Now, if I may, Miss Barry, could I just run along to your house and borrow that dress pattern you were talking about?
Very well, Marilla. Now, behave yourself, Diana. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, Mother, do you suppose I could take Anne with me to the Sunday school picnic this Saturday?
Oh, a picnic! Well, that would be for Miss Cuthbert to decide. Oh, may I, Marilla, may I?
There's going to be all kinds of races with prizes, and we're going to make ice cream.
Oh, Marilla, they're going to make ice cream. What's that?
Oh, Anne, you're teasing.
I think if the child has never had a taste, Marilla, this might be a good opportunity.
Well, I suppose that the other parents are going.
Everyone's going.
And I don't see any problem with it. For land's sakes, child. Run along to school now.
We can go swimming at the picnic too, Anne. Tilly Bolter nearly got drowned last year.
Oh, it must be such a romantic experience to have been nearly drowned.
Oh.
Gotta be fun. Think of the spell beat, that's fun. Think of the arithmetic on the slate. Think about recess, can't wait. School again, school again, school again.
Nix, it's old Lady Phillips.
Good morning, Mr. Phillips. School again, school again, school again.
Class.
Avonlea, we love thee, to thee we pledge our alma mater. Hands and hearts forever, for we know that you are grand.
2, 3, 4.
Avonlea, above thee will raise our loyal sons and daughters. Banners of sincere endeavor over Prince Edward Island.
Alright, class, settle down and get on with the work I gave you yesterday.
Oh, don't bother Mr. Phillips now, Anne. He's busy.
But he doesn't even know I'm here, Diana.
He doesn't know any of us are here. He spends all of his time with that Prissy Andrews. He's getting her ready to try for a scholarship.
But what are the rest of us supposed to do?
Oh, finish up the work we didn't do yesterday.
But I wasn't here yesterday.
I know you like to think. Why don't you draw something funny on your slate? Gilbert Blythe, you dirty little.
Class, settle down.
That boy teases Josie Pye something awful and she's dead gone on him. He's awful handsome, isn't he? His name's Gilbert Blythe.
I think he's very bold. When does Mr. Phillips start teaching the rest of us?
When he finishes straightening out Prissy Andrews.
What are these carrots?
You mean hateful boy! How dare you!
Who is this strange girl and what's she doing in my classroom?
Anne Shirley, sir, I knew. I have a note.
What's all this about then?
It was my fault, sir. I teased her.
Sit down, Blythe. Sorry to see our new student displaying such a vindictive spirit. What did you say your name was?
Anne Shirley, sir, spelled with an E.
Class, repeat after me. Anne Shirley has a very bad temper.
Anne Shirley has a very bad temper.
Anne Shirley must control her temper.
Oh, please, sir, she spelled it wrong. She forgot the
You
E.
must learn to control your tongue as well as your temper. Now sit down here next to Mr. Blythe. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, but I didn't suppose you really meant it.
I assure you I did. Obey me at once. Repeat after me. Anne Shirley has a very bad temper.
Anne Shirley has a very bad temper.
Anne Shirley must control her temper.
Anne Shirley must control her temper. Control her temper.
Moody's version of McPherson. Come here, please. What have you got in your mouth? Have you been chewing pine gum again?
No, sir, I was just soaking a prune for recess.
We'll get rid of it at once. All right, class, you're dismissed for recess. All except for Blythe and the new girl. You may stay and clean up the blackboard. The rest of you may leave in an orderly fashion.
What
someone show up who'll be awful nice, and you'll be such a silly fool, she'll never look your way. Wond'rin, now they'll all be wond'ring, and they'll gabble like parrots, 'cause I called her carrots. Wond'ring what it was that hit me, and wond'ring like I might be wond'ring if she might be wond'ring about me this way. And it's up your slate. Oh. Wond'ring what it was that hit me, and wond'ring like I might be wond'ring if she might be wond'ring about me this way.
Did you hear the everything, my dear? And I promise you I'll never tell a soul. Wonder ought to be a law. That's exactly what I saw. She took the slate and suddenly went berserk. Cross my heart, hope to die. Have I ever told a lie? She's a terror, she's a target, she's a turn. Did you hear?
Tell me everything, my dear, and I promise you I'll never tell a soul. I would thrash her when she's caught.
That's exactly what I thought.
You say the doctor had to take a stitch?
3 or 4, maybe more.
She's a monster, she's a fury, she's a witch.
She has sat with her power, Gilbert blind, it's as plain can be. But if she wants him, she will have to deal with me.
Did you hear?
Tell me everything, my dear, and I'll promise you I'll never tell a soul. Did you hear?
Tell us everything, my dear, and we promise you we'll never tell a soul.
They should put the girl away. That's exactly what I say.
You mean she went and split his skull in two?
I was there, and I swear there's blood just everywhere.
She's a monster.
Interfering. Oh! We don't want her kind in Avonlea, and I hope she leaves tonight. If they expel her, then I'll tell her serves you right.
Hello, Josie. Afternoon, Rachel.
Now, Marilla, heavens knows I am no gossip, but I thought you wanted to be the first to know.
Did you hear that I remember fear? You always have a little bit of news.
Never did you ever, I suppose you think she's clever. Maybe marked for life with such an awful bruise.
In the schoolroom split his head. I think Gilbert's good as dead. He was took by motor car to Charlottetown.
She's a piece of Satan's finest handiwork.
She's a vixen.
She's a harpy. She's a terror.
She's a turner.
We don't want her kind in Avonlea.
Terrible, tempered Turk.
Oh, cheer up, Anne. You mustn't mind Gilbert making fun of your hair. He's called me a crow a dozen times.
There's a great deal of difference between a crow and a carrot, Diana. Gilbert Blythe has hurt my feelings excruciatingly. Isn't that a scrumptious word? It took me weeks to learn how to say it right.
Well, now stay at school.
Diana has invited me to her Sunday school picnic. I've never been to a picnic.
Well, you know, neither have I. Marilla doesn't think the good Lord intended for us to get outdoors.
Don't you think a picnic is the very nicest way to enter the church?
There'll be no picnic for you, young lady.
Come on home, Diana.
Mother,
Home, at once.
There'll be no picnic or anything else till you learn to stop disgracing our name with your vicious temper.
Oh, no, Marilla, it can't be that bad.
This child is uncontrollable. She's given the Blythe boy a concussion. Right at this minute, he's at the Charlottetown Hospital with 4 doctors picking the slate out of his head.
That's not true. That's just not true.
Don't you contradict me, young lady. I heard it from Mrs. Rachel Lynde. She heard it from the girl who works at the yard goods counter. And she was there and saw the whole thing. Why, the boy's brain pan was split wide open for all to see.
Anne, I'm sorry your slate got broken. I brought you a new one.
Why, Gilbert Blythe. What are you doing up and about?
Excuse me, Miss Cuthbert, but I came to make amends to Anne for what I did.
For what you did? Thought it was her that had done it to you.
Oh, it was nothing really. I chased her to school. She got the blame, but it was all my fault.
Oh, how's your brain pan?
My what, sir?
The part of you that's split wide open with 4 doctors picking at you.
I think somebody's been giving you a story, Mr. Cuthbert.
You should have known better than to listen to the gossips that hang around Blair's store.
And you must be sure that Mrs. Barry gets the story straight too. Now I don't see any reason why Anne shouldn't go to that Sunday school picnic.
Oh, could I?
Would it be all right if I took her? I promised to look after her and I'd bring her home on time.
Well, no, that would be just.
Well, I want somebody to be responsible for her.
No! I go at all, I shall accompany Miss Diana Barry. I and she can look after each other.
And
the iron has entered my soul.
I made a lot of sandwiches, egg salad with tortilla jelly.
Not that hungry.
Oh, Diana, I can't wait till we get at the ice cream.
And you will love it.
ice cream is anything more delectable than ice cream. Why, even the most respectable eat ice cream. It's wonderful on a summer's afternoon in June. Ice cream, the recipe's something serious, but ice
It's not.
He's too.
It's ready.
Now it's frozen to the core. About time our hearts are getting sore. Here's the moment we've been waiting for.
Here you are, Aunt Shirley, your first taste of ice cream.
Gilbert, why?
It's marvelous and mysterious ice cream.
Ice cream, it's wonderful on a summer's afternoon. Ice cream!
Why ain't it always summer? I could sleep late, stay up till midnight, catch, do works for bait. Now I'll be combed and curried and worried again. Who wants to put their shoes on? Not be my friend.
I grew old and stronger.
I lost my wisdom too.
I took a big umbrella and fell off our roof. I had a taste of high life in Charlottetown. They have electric lights there that never burn down. In place of the lights on Queen Street, were gold. And I had a cherry busmate that went on my nose.
We found a gorgeous seashell. We found some licorice root.
I took a wild slipping in my new bathing suit.
Where did the summer go to? We had such fun. Now we go back to season and it's still on the hunt. I'm sure that all this Latin will flatten my head. Sing praise and glory of Monday. Summertime, summertime, summertime. Who wants to put their shoes on? Not me, my friend.
Last year, I concentrated on geography, and it didn't get me anywhere. This year, I'm going to concentrate on boys. I intend to have half a dozen beaux, all crazy about me.
Wouldn't you just as soon have one in your right mind?
You already have that, Anne. I hear Gilbert Blythe has a terrible crush on you.
Who said? I heard Gilbert telling Charlie Sloane the other day that when Anne Shirley sings in church, her Adam's apple bobs in and out like a chicken picking dirt.
Excuse me, girls. I'd like to talk to Anne alone. Anne, can't we start out this year by being friends? Sorry I made fun of your hair. I only meant it for a joke.
No! Gilbert Blythe, never!
Fine. I don't care either. Carrots. Come on, Josie.
Oh, Diana, let's promise each other one thing. That when we grow up, neither of us will get married, but we'll live together forever as nice old maids.
Oh, I don't know if I want to be an old maid forever, Anne. I've always thought it would be nice to marry a wicked young man and gradually reform him.
I know. You're going to grow up, get married, and leave me. Oh, I hate your husband.
And that's hundreds of years away, and besides, you know you will always, always be my best and closest friend.
Diana, I shall hold you to that till death do us apart.
Kindred
No, I am not. My name is Miss Muriel Stacy, and I'm going to be your new teacher. Mr. Phillips won't be coming back. Yes! Mr. Phillips has a better paying job at a feed store. But my, what a bright, sunny morning it is. Oh, I think we'll have our first class right out here in the yard. Outside? Well, why not? Just because a pupil slumped over a desk writing something in a copybook doesn't necessarily mean he's learning anything. Yes, we'll have our first class outside. Diana, Miss Stacy's a kindred spirit. Open your windows, sweep out the cobwebs, open your mind to what's going on all around. Look at the sunlight, what is it made of? How can it make the flowers jump right out the ground? Open your ears, use that old nose. How come between me, nose or rose? Take off the blinkers, let in the daylight. Why does the cleaning ivy cling? Tear down the fences, use those five senses. Learn everything. Now, are there any questions?
Stacy, what is the sunlight made of?
It's made of energy, and it's coming to you at the rate of 186,000 miles a second.
Gee willikers, I never knew that.
Open your hands, reach for the sky.
Say, how does a lobster
Yes.
fertilize?
Look all around you, life will astound you. What makes the yellow warbler sing? Open your heart too, now we will start to learn everything. Now our first class today will be
Latin.
no, not yet. Algebra, maybe later.
Deportment?
That comes naturally with a healthy mind and a healthy body.
Then what, Miss Stacy?
Nature studies! Marilla, she has to come through the door sideways.
Well, I hope you managed to notice what she was teaching.
We took a walk through Sloane's Wood. It's called a field trip. Afterwards, we had to deliver out loud an oral composition on what I saw on our field trip, and I gave the best one.
Well, what did it tell you
It's
about?
very vague of you to say so, Anne. You'd best let the teacher say it.
Oh, but she did say it.
Who came second?
Oh, Gil. One of the boys. I forget his name. But the best thing of all is going to be every other Friday. That's when we'll have recitations. And after Christmas, we're putting on a concert.
Well,
Fiddlesticks. More foolishness?
Oh, no. Miss Stacy says it shall be a feast of reason and a flow of skull.
Oh, does she? Well, I don't believe in concerts. They spoil young people for everyday life. Just an excuse for boys and girls to stay up late and carry on when they'd be better off in bed.
is Gilbert Blythe going to be with the concert? I saw him last Sunday in church. He was looking tall and manly, just like his father. You know, John Blythe and Marilla used to be good friends. In fact, some said John Blythe was Marilla's beau.
Oh, Matthew, what happened?
They had a quarrel, and she wouldn't forgive him even when he asked her to. I guess she meant to, but, well, you know how she is.
Now, Anne, don't go away. I'll lead you upstairs in just a moment. Not a word out of you, mind.
I could almost imagine Marilla as being mysterious.
She has a surprise for you.
Oh, Matthew, what is it?
Well, no, I'm not supposed to say.
Marilla has made me a new dress. Oh, I just know it. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Oh, Matthew, is it a new dress, is it?
Anne, upstairs.
Now remember, I never told you.
I had some leftover material, so I made you a new dress. Well, how do you like it?
I imagine that I like it.
You imagine that you like it. I don't want you to imagine it. What's wrong with it? It's new, isn't it?
Yes.
Then why don't you like it? It's sensible and serviceable. I should think you'd be grateful.
Oh, but I am grateful. Of course, I'd be ever so much gratefuler if you'd made it with puff sleeves.
Fiddlesticks.
Everybody else in school has them.
Those ridiculous-looking things?
Now, Marilla, look here.
Look where?
Marilla, why shouldn't she?
Exactly. Why shouldn't she? I prefer these plain, sensible-looking things.
But wouldn't you rather look ridiculous when everybody else does than plain and sensible all by yourself?
It's wicked to think of your looks so much.
Oh, come now, Marilla. You can't just take a girl and...
Matthew Cuthbert, I don't know what you're trying to say, but whatever it is, keep it to yourself. This is women's affairs, so you stay out of it. Anne, I'm afraid you're a very vain little girl.
How can I be vain when I know I'm homely?
She doesn't like it. Good green Winston, she doesn't like it.
Just like a chicken pecking in dirt. The world has laughed long enough. Now is the time to take matters into my own hands. I'm standing on the threshold of eternity at last, as reckless of the future as I have been of the past.
Words, the words, why don't they come when I want them? I've kept my peace and silence, 'cause the boy is taught to hold his tongue. But now when I'm trying to say my say, I just can't seem to find a way. I can't find the words, can't get out the phrases. Just when she needs love, I can't sing her praises. Where do the words go when I am before her? Oh, if I could show what I feel in my heart, I'd implore her
Berries. Where is that child? Upstairs practicing for that tomfool concert, I suppose. She has no business daydreaming or expecting company. Anne? Not here. Miss Barry and Diane will be here in less than 5 minutes in her room, not clean. Mercy on us. What are you doing in there? Have you been practicing for the concert?
No.
You're not sick, are you?
No, but please, Marilla, just go away and don't look at me.
What nonsense. Come out of there right now. Miss Barry and Diane will be here in less than 5 minutes.
Please, Marilla, just go away and don't look at me.
Did anyone ever hear the likes? Anne Shirley, you come out of there right now or... Oh! Your hair! It's green.
I thought nothing could be worse than red hair, so I dyed it.
But it's positively green.
Now I know it's 10 times worse to have green hair.
What made you do such a wicked thing?
He told me you'd make my hair a beautiful raven black. He positively assured me it would.
He told you. Who told you? What are you talking about?
You remember the peddler who was here last month? I bought it from him.
That foreigner? I sent him away. I only deal with the Watkins man.
I know, but when I bought it, I put it away because I didn't have the nerve to try it until
I made you the dress.
Oh, Marilla, it wasn't that. Not just that. It was Josie Pye, or just everything.
There, child. The fast dye if ever there was one. And it's a good job you didn't use it on the top of your head first.
Oh, Marilla, my career is closed.
No, Anne. But that hair's gonna have to come off.
But Marilla!
I'll go get the scissors. The ladies will be coming up the drive any minute now. Good afternoon, Rachel. Belita. Oh, hi, Minnie.
Oh, are we having the meeting in the kitchen?
Well, no, Miss Barry's little girl Diana's just joining our Anne for tea is all.
How sweet, just like the big folks.
Oh, they seem well be big folks. My Josie's grown up so fast, just like a pig in the night.
Yes, I saw a pair of them, Anne and Diana, walking home from school the other day, growing up like 60s. Now, I've always known that Barry girl is beautiful, and she surely is. But Marilla, I was wrong about your Anne. It's not often that I admit that I'm wrong, but I was, and I'll admit in front of the ladies of the exclusive. Why, it's a little bit of wonderful, the improvement in your Anne. Really good looking she's getting to be. Oh, why, here she is now. How are you, Anne?
I'm well in body, although considerably rumpled in spirit. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, isn't she polite? Is that a new dress you're wearing? What color is it?
It's bottle green.
I don't think it suits the child.
Sam her son.
Well, the day's so nice outside, why don't we go have the meeting out there? Miss Barry and Diana will be along any moment, and that'll be a full turnout. I'll see to the ladies, Anne. You look after Diana, and you may finish up that little yellow crock of cherry preserves if you wish. This time it was used up anyhow. I believe it's beginning to work. Oh, and also you may finish up that raspberry cordial if you wish. You look just fine considering, and the sash does a good job of hiding your hair. I left the cordial on the second shelf. Oh, hello, Miss Barry, Diana. Such a lovely day, I thought we'd have the meeting outside.
I'll join you in a minute. Come along, Diana. Oh, good afternoon, Miss Diana. Thank you, Anne. What do you say, Diana?
Anne, your hair! Put it up! You look just like the pompadour on the mannequin in Holmes' window in Charlottetown. Oh, Mother, when can I put my hair up like that?
Not for another 2 years, dear. You know that.
Well, can I at least get a sash for my hair like Anne has?
We'll see, dear.
Miss Barry, we're about to begin the meeting now.
Now behave yourself, Diana.
We will now have the minutes of our last meeting read by Miss Minnie Pye. Oh, Anne, you're the luckiest thing. I envy you, I really do. I'm absolutely green.
Won't you please sit down, Diana? Won't you please have some raspberry cordial?
This is going to be so fun. We can pretend we're all grown up and say things to each other we really don't mean. Do you suppose Rachel, Lynde, and Marilla did this when they were little girls?
I right. Last time was when the minister came, and instead of vanilla, I used Sloane's liniment by mistake. More cordial, Diana? There you go.
Thank you.
Oh dear, I forgot to put out napkins. I made a plate of taffy too, but Marilla made me throw it out. One of the cats from the barn walked all over it. I don't think you would have noticed, except for the rather interesting design.
Kindred Spirits, just you and me, never to be.
Diana, I'm so glad you feel that way.
This is awfully nice cordial, and it's ever so much nicer than my aunt's cordial. And she brags and brags of her Aunt Josephine ever so much. It doesn't taste a bit like hers, though.
Oh, Diana! It's all right, I'll get a cloth. Diana!
Kindred spirits, just even me, ever to be. Like a fly sticks to glue, we'll stick together, just me and you. I'll swear at you. You'll swear at me. We'll swear at me.
Diana!
Oh. Hello, Mother.
What has happened to my child?
I think she's squiffy.
I think she's been poisoned.
I think I'm going to be sick.
Don't worry, Miss Barry, I'll cope.
Anne, where did you get this bottle?
On the second shelf, like you told me.
And how much did she drink?
3, maybe 4 tumblers full. Diana! Diana!
This is my fault. Forgot to bring the cordial up from the root cellar. The child has been drinking currant wine.
Why? Wow, Marilla and Cuthbert, you always said your current wine wouldn't have the least effect on anybody.
You even give it to the minister's wife.
Yes, well, she did drink 4 tumblers full at a time. However, that's the last of it. Suppose we'd best get rid of it here now.
to recommend the both of you for a scholarship, the Avery Scholarship. If you choose to accept, you will be competing with children all over the island, as there is only one scholarship. You will also be competing with each other. It's worth $250 a year for 4 years at Queen's College, but it will mean an extra hour's study every night after school. Are the two of you willing to give up some of that free time? I'm good. I'm glad. I hope that you would be able to help each other most definitely. I see.
I'll show him that a girl can set her mind to study hard and work and slave, and when the time has come, he'll find. I'll show him.
Though other boys are having fun by climbing trees and skipping school, except for me, the only one, I'll show her. I know her. I know behind that freckled face, there's just a stuck-up snob who always has to win each race. I know her.
I know that great big show-off boy who thinks he's oh so extra smart because he's Josie's pride and joy. I know him.
I'll compete with him, make mincemeat of him, and I never will give in. No retreat from him, wipe the street with him, yet I know that he will win.
I know it. I know what Gilbert Blythe will do. He'll close his books right after school and never fuss or fret or stew.
I know it. I know that when it comes the day, I'll lose my nerve and not show up and run away. I'll throw it. Won't compete with him. I'll be beat by him. Please just free me from his bed. I'll retreat from him. Though I'll leave with him. She can keep the scholarship. No. I'll show him. I'll show that awful schoolroom scab.
That stuck-up snob!
That freckled grouch.
That teacher's pet!
That red-haired crab. I'll throw her.
The day will come and we will write the big exam. I'll be
The
called.
bell will ring and wham. I'll show her. I'll show her.
Morning, Earl. Morning, Cecil. Morning, Priscilla.
Oh, my morning, Cecil. Earl, what can I do for you?
I've seen a harness 'twas offered for sale in your brother catalog. It pulls at your mouth and fits under your tail and gives you a real smart job.
I have it right here.
Good day.
Today. Oh, why not, Mrs. Berry, Mrs. Pye? What can I do for you?
A garment that's offered for sale in the new spring all alive.
It takes all the flesh that you have in the front and moves it around and back.
That's a cinch. Here. Try this on your player piano. Why, Matthew Cuthbert, what can I do for you?
Is Mr. Blair anywhere about?
Mr. Blair? No, he's gone home for the day.
Today? Oh dear.
Step over here. I'm at your service. What can I do for you?
No, I
Please don't be nervous. I've nothing else to do.
I want some puff.
Puff, puff.
I want some puff.
Pipe tobacco?
I'll have a tin of old charm.
No, I mean
Hair
really wanted.
Pink pills.
Peaches, pears, plums.
Pitchforks.
This time of year?
Rachel, excuse me, excuse me, Earl.
Well, let's see what we have here.
Pears, oil.
Have tobacco. Pickled preserves.
Peppercorn, potatoes.
The very thing. Puffed sleeves.
Puff sleeves.
Puffed sleeves.
Hey!
Charge it.
And surely you're the prettiest thing I ever saw.
You don't think it makes me look wider, as Marilla said?
Oh no, it makes you look taller. I can't wait to see the look on Gilbert's face.
Neither can I.
Not to mention Miss Josie Pye.
Diana, tonight I have a soul that flies above Josie Pye and everything else.
Diana, can you help me with my lines, please?
Oh, of course, Gilbert, but I first... my mother.
Josie, what's the matter?
I told my mother I had to be the spirit of Canada with wings and everything. She wouldn't let me beaded slippers.
But your mother's slippers wouldn't have fitted you anyway.
Whoever heard of a fairy in boots with copper toes? Leave me alone.
Oh, listening friend, they got a concert?
I heard these young people have been practicing out for months.
Oh, yes. My Diana doesn't mind doing that for our concert, but just try to get her to practice her piano or do her studies. It's a different story.
Oh, but I'm sure you're going to be very proud of your Diana tonight. Why, Matthew and Marilla, I'm sure you're going to be very proud of your Anne tonight. Why, Matthew Cuthbert, you're as white as a ghost. What could Dr. Malcolm say?
I'm not surprised. Going all the way into Carmody for puffed sleeves and straining his heart, bringing home a drum of paraffin oil we don't need, 100 pounds of potatoes we'll never use in the month of Sundays, enough pitchforks for a threshing game.
I know, what a caution.
Well, I figured it was worth it.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, parents, and friends, we'd like to welcome you to a pageant of Canadian history written and devised by our own pupils of Avonlea School. Please enjoy our pageant.
I am the spirit of Canada, but 40 years young.
What? I am the spirit of Canada, but 40 years young.
I am the spirit of Canada, but 40 years young. Yet my story goes back to the Ice Age, from when my people first sprung. Oh, Anne.
During the Ice Age, Canada slept. For years she lay, her virgin soil undisturbed except by the odd Eskimo with his igloo of ice and snow. Later, the proud Indian came. By stripping the bark of some silver birch, he made his rude forest home. Meanwhile, far across the Atlantic Ocean, men of other nations were searching. Gold was what they sought. What did they find? Not gold, but a golden land. Now,
We sailed to North America to see. North America to see. There's a land that's fit for you and there's a land that's fit for you and me.
Like me and here is an island right here.
Never before have we seen such a land. Was it ever grand and tall and great as ever island, the heart of the world, set in the crossroads of the sea. All of the nations have their banners unfurled. Now that you know that this is the place to be. Prince Edward Island, the heart of the world, set in the crossroads of the sea. All of the nations have their banners unfurled. Now that you know that this is the place to be.
Prince Edward Island! So each of them left their mark on this island of ours, this earth, this round, this precious jewel, set in a silver gulf.
Prince Edward Island, the heart of the world, set in the crossroads of
girl.
Congratulations, Anne.
Gilbert, hooray for Aunt Shirley, the cleverest girl on the island! Hooray for Aunt Shirley!
Fellow citizens, I can't help but feel that it was me that brought this great accomplishment to us today. I feel that...
Well, what about me? I seen her first. If it wasn't for me, she wouldn't be here right now. When I saw her, she was waiting at the station door. Didn't have the tag describing just where she was headed for. She'd have gone past the old if it hadn't been for me.
If it hadn't been for you, if it hadn't been for me, if it hadn't been for all of us, I wonder where she'd be, why we wouldn't have all of this fuss. If it hadn't been for us.
Well, I took a fancy to her from the very start. She was so polite and bashful that she won my very heart. I'm proud that all those girls had to tell you the beauty of her looks.
If it hadn't been for you, if it hadn't been for me, if it hadn't been for all of us, I wonder where she'd be, why we wouldn't have all of this fuss. If it hadn't been for us.
It was destiny that chose me to cultivate this world by devoting my attention to the needs of every girl. For in the field of knowledge, we've laid a tiny seed. The results will be tremendous. Tremendous, yes indeed.
If it hadn't been for you, if it hadn't been for me, if it hadn't been for all of us, I wonder where she'd be, why we wouldn't have all of this fuss. If it hadn't been for us. If it hadn't been for you, if it hadn't been for me, if it hadn't been for all.
If it hadn't been for Anne, she did it herself, with imagination and a determination. And though we all may have helped when we could, it was Anne who brought honor this night to our school. So, if it hadn't been for you, if it hadn't been for me, I've a hunch she'd still have made it as the pride of Avonlea.
She's the girl at the head of the crowd, and I'm feeling mighty, mighty proud.
Feeling mighty, mighty, oh so high and mighty, feeling mighty There is a golden summer waiting for you, spinning a dreamless sunset till it comes true.
Wond'rin', all at once I'm wond'rin' what it's like to grow up and have someone show up. There is a golden summer waiting for you, spinning a dream like sunset till it comes
hand to help with the heavy work. The doctor said you couldn't do it yourself, and now...
Please, Marilla, not now.
All that lifting you've been doing, and trotting into town for puff sleeves. I'll go get the salve out of you in case you get dizzy again. Oh, where did I leave it?
Good night, Dad. Good night. Matthew, I couldn't find you or Marilla anywhere, so we walked home and we sang all the way, and the blossoms looked so white and white. And is something wrong, Matthew?
Just bursting pride by that little girl. That's all.
You know what I kept thinking all the way home? About the first time I saw Green Gables. I was in the buggy with you and I talked all the way back from the station, remember? Well, I'm so glad you let me stay, even though I wasn't a boy.
We would rather have had you than a dozen boys. I suppose it wasn't a boy that won the Avery Scholarship.
No, but Gilbert Blythe was runner-up, and that's about the same thing. Except, without the scholarship, his father can't afford to send him to Queens.
Gilbert will make his mark. Never fear.
You know, I think the best thing about winning a scholarship is that it announces to all the world that you've got some sense in you. I was never sure before, but I think my chances of becoming sensible are greater than ever. Marilla always said I was too romantic by far.
Don't lose all your romance in. A little bit of romance is good. Keep just a bit of it. Tell Marilla, never mind the Salvalately.
Salvalately?
That's right, dear. Roll along now. Hurry.
Marilla! Marilla!
I'll fix us a good, strong cup of tea.
Well, he lived 60 years. Who was never happier than during this last one? Well, Marilla, what are you going to do without him?
Remember him as best we can, I suppose. We'll take a slip of that little white rose bush Mom brought over from Scotland. Plant it by the grave before we leave.
Leave? For where?
Anne's going to Queens. That's 4 years. There's nothing to stay for here.
But leave Green Gables.
I don't know what else is to be done. I've thought about it, but things would only get behind worse and worse until nobody would want to buy it. It won't bring much, but it'll be enough for me to live off of.
But sell Green Gables.
Kettle's boiling.
Now you listen to me, Marilla Cuthbert. We've been friends for a long time, ever since we were girls together. And you and Matthew, well, you are Green Gables. And without you two here...
Oh, Matthew. Matthew. You know I loved her just as much as you did. It wasn't easy for me to say these things. But I loved the both of you. Just as dear as... I can't find words. Can't get out the phrases when he needed love. Dear
tea too, thank you.
You're startled me out of my growth. Where have you been off to?
Over to Barry's.
I thought Diana Barry's at her Aunt Josephine's for the day.
I went to see her father. He's offered to rent the land here at Green Gables, and we can stay in the house just the same.
We? Who's we?
You and I. I'm not going to Queens.
But I thought, oh, but you mustn't. What about the scholarship?
I met Miss Stacy up the road to talk to her about giving it to someone else. Except that's not allowed. But she says I can stay here at Green Gables and study everything that I would at Queens.
For 4 years, Anne.
Nothing would be worse than giving up Green Gables.
Oh, I can't let you sacrifice yourself like this.
I've quite made my mind, Marilla. Besides, Lynde says, well, she says I have enough education as a woman would be comfortable with.
And Shirley?
Anne Shirley. I wish to speak with you, Anne Shirley. Miss Stacy told me what you tried to do for me, Anne. It's awfully good of you.
It wasn't particularly good of me at all, Gilbert. I couldn't go to Queens, and so I saw no reason why anybody else shouldn't go.
You'll keep up your studies, won't you?
I hope so.
So am I. Well,
Gilbert.
maybe this time you'll help me?
We are going to be good friends, aren't we, Gilbert?
I don't see why not. We've been good enemies.